In 13th century India, the law of the jungle was simple, and the huntress Dhara knew its every rule.
But the world of men had its own rules. Rules of fire and of steel.
There was no mercy. There was only the hunt, and she was now the prey. Pain was a fire in her veins, but fear was a greater fire at her back. Every path led to a dead end. Every shadow hid a threat. And then she saw it. She had found a sanctuary, but it was not hers. A beast of the jungle understands one thing above all: a mother's duty. And for that duty, she would pay the ultimate price. In the silence that followed, 2 lives were lost, and 2 had just begun. In that den of death, a life for a life had been paid. Now, a new debt was owed. She named them Agni and Vayu, fire and wind. And the 3 of them began to heal. Years passed. The jungle taught them, and she taught them. They were a family unlike any other. But outside their jungle sanctuary, the world had not healed. The invaders' iron grip only tightened on the land. Beaten but not broken, the survivors whispered stories, a legend of the deep jungle. They went seeking a myth. They found something more.
They are monsters. They have taken everything.
They did not ask for a miracle. They asked for a leader. But the world of men had given her nothing but ashes. Why should she offer it anything but her back? But they had brought one last thing. A ghost from the life she had lost. It was just a piece of scorched wood. But a memory has its own weight, its own sharpness. The ghost of the past had given her a reason. Now she'd give it a voice of fire and fury. The huntress of the jungle was gone. The leader of the rebellion had returned.
We do not meet
Her
them in the
grief
open.
had become a
We
weapon.
hunt them in the
And like any
shadows,
good huntress,
where we are
she
strong
would choose
and
the
they are
time and
blind.
place to use it. Hope was a powerful forge, and in every villager it sharpened a new kind of resolve. The trap was set. The hunters were in place. All that was left was the waiting. The waiting ended. The hunt began. The earth held them. The shadows confused them. And then the true hunters descended. It was their first victory, but there was no joy in it. Only the cold promise of the long war ahead. A whisper of rebellion had become a roar, and now the beast in the fortress had awakened.
We have bled
Dhara
them in the
knew
shadows.
the first
Now,
victory was
we will
only a
choke them at the
beginning.
source.
To win a war, the prey must learn to hunt the hunter. In the quiet moments between battles, she remembered what she was fighting for. Not a cause, but a family. This was more than a raid. It was an army born of grief, marching to reclaim its future. The battle for the past began. A storm of arrows and a tide of rage against a wall of steel. But the invader commander was a student of cruelty, and he had prepared his final, brutal lesson. The tide of the battle turned in an instant. The hunters had become the ensnared. In that moment, a bond deeper than blood, a final, silent choice. A mother's love had saved her once. Now, a mother's grief would answer. A cry of grief that needed no sound. It was a call that only one other soul could hear. The commander had planned for soldiers. He had planned for beasts. He had not planned for a family's love, or a family's revenge.
The architect of their pain was gone, but the victory felt as hollow and as quiet as a tomb.
He was not a soldier. He never wanted war. He only wanted to protect his family.
She had won her war. She had won her people their freedom. But victory and loss would forever walk by her side.
Have a theory? Join the discussion in our pinned comment. For more stories like this one, subscribe and click the bell. Thank you for watching.